Welcome to Problem Solving through Programming Module 2. So in Module 2 we'll discuss about control statements. So what is control statement? So statements in C language, it is very essential to construct or to enable the programmer to control the flow of execution within the program. Okay, so that is the very essential thing. Okay, so in control statement in C language, it is very essential for the programmers to control the flow of execution within the program. Okay, in other words, we can tell like control statement helps in making decision or repeating the task or creating logical structure within the program, right? So they provide the flexibility and control over the execution of the program. Okay, so we can even say it is for making decision. For making decisions, for repeating the task, and creating some logical structures. So creating logical structures. Okay, structures within the program. So they provide flexibility and control over the execution. So what do they do? Because of this, they provide flexibility and control. Okay, so by utilizing them effectively, a programmer can create an efficient, well-structured code which will result in optimizing the performance. Okay, understood? So these control statements are also called as conditional statements. So control statement is also called as conditional statement. Okay, so it decides the order of execution based on the condition. Decides the order of execution based on conditions. So it helps to repeat, as I said you here, it helps to repeat a group of statements. It modifies the control of flow, right? Modify the control of flow of a program, or repeat a group of statements. Used for decision making. It is used for branching, right? So by doing all this thing, what happens? It makes the programmer to have a, or it enables the programmer to create an efficient code so as to optimize the work and perform well. So that is the idea behind this control statement or conditional statement. So we have some different types in this conditional statement. So we can make a decision with condition control statements. Okay, so we can, so making a decision with conditional control statements. So like if statements, if statement, switch. So these are some of the condition control statement. We'll discuss that, right? So these statements allow for branching, and where different path of code execution can be done depending upon the outcome of the condition. Okay, and one more choice is like for iterating with loop control statements. So loop like while loop, do loop, do while. Okay, while do while, for. So these are all some of the looping statements which will enable the repetition of the block of code. So this will enable the repetition of block of code until the condition is met, specific condition is met. Okay, and next is like branching. Multi-way branchings. So this statement allows multi-way branching based upon the value of expression. So this is particularly useful when there is multiple case to consider. Okay, so we can go for switch cases here. Okay, and another use of this condition statement is it enhances the code readability and it maintainability. Okay, so control statement greatly contribute to code readability and maintainability. By utilizing appropriate control statement, the programmer can express their intention clearly. Okay, making the code more understandable for themselves and for also for the other developers. So well-structured control statements make it easier to trace the program flow and identify the bugs or logical errors and all. And one more thing is handling exceptional cases with the control statement like a break, continue. So these control statement will offer mechanism to handle exceptional cases and alter the normal flow of execution. So by having this break, control and all, we can alter the normal flow of executions. So these statements allow the programmer to execute the loop permanently or skip the iteration or jump from one specific code section. Okay, so by leveraging all these control statement, programmer will manage exception scenarios and validate the input and implement error handling routines like that. Okay, so now we'll see types in this control statements. So control statement, we have if statement, if statement, else if else if, then we have switch statement, while loop, do while, for loop, break statement, okay, continue statement, then go to statement, right? So what is the type of this if? So it is a selection type. this else if, this is also selection type. If else if, this is also selection type. Switch case, this is also selection. What about this while loop, do while, for loop? So these three are iterative. It will repeat the function. And what about this break, continue statement, go to statement? So these are all jump statements. Okay, so we'll see the syntax for if. So we'll give like if condition is true, then it will execute the code of block. Okay, for this. And for this is for if. And for else if condition is true, it will execute the code block, right? Else some other code block. Right? So for this if, I will open one brace and close it. For this else if, I will open one and close it. Okay. For else if else if, so if condition is true, we'll have one code block, close it. Else if, okay, else if, check this condition. If that is true, then execute this code block. Okay. And for switch case, okay, we'll have, is it visible? Switch, we'll have the expression and we'll have case value. This case value is true, then we'll execute the code block and then break it. Okay, then if we have any other case value, we'll execute that also. After all this thing, then we will default. For default, if this is all false, then for default it will execute one code block. So you will understand all this while discussing with some example. As of now, we just see what's happening. And for while loop, so while condition is true, then execute the code block. Okay. And for do while, first do the operation of the statement and then only it will check for the condition. Okay. And for loop, this for loop for will initialize the variable or initialization, then we'll have condition, then we'll have increment. If this is all true, then you execute the code block. Okay. Next we have break statement. Break, it is just break. If I see this break statement, immediately it will break and it will go out of the loop. Similarly, continue. If I see continue, it will continue without ending the loop. And go to label. Go to label. I'll give go to some label. It will go to that label and execute that. Right? I will discuss one by one in detail with some example. So we'll see if else. So the flowchart for your if else. Flowchart for if statement. If statement. First we'll see if statement. Then next we can go for if else. Okay. So if the condition, here the condition, if it is true, execute some statement. If it is false, end if. End. Okay, so if it is true, execute this statement. After executing this, then you end it. Otherwise, if it is false, you directly end it. So this is the statement, the flowchart for your if one. Okay. Right. So we'll see one example code for that. Okay. So include stdio.h, right, int main. So this is the preprocessor, this is the main. If I use int, I have to return the 0. So int age. So this is the variable declaration, local variable declaration, and the type is int. So if the type is int, what is the format specifier? %d is the format specifier. So printf, enter the age. Enter your age. Right? Scanf %d. What do you have to do? You have to put ampersand age. So it will go to the memory location of that place. And here condition, if age is greater than or equal to 18, open the brace, execute this code block. So print f, you are eligible for vote, eligible to voting, right? That's all. Then you will return to 0, then close. So this is simple if. So if this age is true, means this condition is true, means it will execute this block, otherwise it will end it. Okay, if this is false, means it will end. Condition false means it will end. Condition true means it will execute the statement and then end. Okay, so this is the simple if statement, right? Okay. So this, what is the use of this ampersand? So to indicate the value must be stored in the age variable. Okay. So next is if else statement, right? So what is if else? So if the condition is true, execute this block, else execute this block of statement, right? Am I right? So instead of directly ending, if it is false, so condition true means it will execute one statement. If it is false, it will execute some other statement and then it will end. It will end. Okay, so for this what you have to do? We'll take the same example. If age is greater than or equal to 18, print you are eligible to vote. Right? Else, right? You have to close this. Yes. Else, print you are not eligible for vote. Right? So you have to return to 0 and then close. And this, what is the difference between simple if and else if? Right? Okay, fine. And next is nested if. Nested if or if else if. So the flow chart is like start. For start, what is the symbol? This, and it will have a condition 1. So condition 1. Okay. If condition 1 is true, it will go and check for some other condition. So condition 2. If it is true, if it is true, then it will execute some statement. If it is false, it will execute some statement, right? Then it will end. This is also will end. If suppose this condition is false, it will go and check for some other condition, say condition 3, right? So if that is true, it will execute some statement. If that condition is false, it will execute some statement. If not, it will end. So I will keep it as only one end. Okay. So statement. Some statement. So this nested if else statement refers to the situation where if one if statement is placed within another. Okay, so this one if statement is placed in another one. Same way this also. Okay, it will allow multiple conditions to be evaluated like in a hierarchical manner. If I write the syntax for this, right, I think I have written earlier also. So if condition 1, if it is true, then execute the code block 1. Okay, so executed if condition 1 is true. Otherwise, if condition 2, if then it will execute code block 2. So if both condition 1 and condition 2 are true, so for both condition 1 and condition 2 are true, right, this code block will be executed. Else it will go for code block 3. So here it executes when your condition, if condition 1 is true but not condition 2 is false. Okay, in that case this code block will be executed. Else it will go like this. It will execute code block 3, code block 4. It will be executed if condition 1 is false and come to an end. Right? So we will see one example for this nested if. So include stdio.h, which is a preprocessor, int main. If I use int main, I have to use return to 0. So int age, so I have declared the variable age. So its type is, data type is integer. So the format specifier should be %d. So print f, enter the age. Scan f %d ampersand age. Now starts the if. If age, I think I can write in some other color. If age is greater than or equal to 18, okay, print you are eligible to vote. I'll take percentage. Okay, right? If it will go for the second condition, if age is greater than or equal to 60, print you are senior citizen. So when this will execute, when this one will be executed, only if condition 1 and condition 2 both are true, then only this will be executed, right? Yes. If it is false, then what it will do? Okay, we will close this. Else print you are not eligible. Okay, then return 0. Got it? So you can see the if. One if is inside the other. So that is why it is nested. And we even have like a if else ladder control statement. It is like start check for condition 1, C1. If it is yes, execute the statement 1. No, check for condition 2. If yes, statement 2. If it is no, check for condition 3. If it is X, execute statement 3. Okay. So this type is your if else ladder statement. It is also a series of uh, what nested if statement only. So the difference from nested if is that they differ from nested if statement. In the nested statement condition, it will check for else statement that are contained inside the main block, whereas in the ladder, if else statement are checked in a sequential manner. In addition to this, the nested if else statement will be skipped in initial condition if the initial condition is false, but in the case of ladder statement, all the statements and condition will be checked. Okay. So statement syntax is like if condition 1, so block 1, else if condition 2, so block 2, else if condition 3, it will execute block 3, right? Else your block 4. So this condition 1, if condition 1 is true, if this condition 1 is true, it will execute this block 1. Okay, here if condition 1 is false and condition 2 is true, then it will execute this block. Here if condition 1 and condition 2 are false and condition 3 is true, then it will execute this. Here, so if all conditions are false, it will execute this block 4. Understood now? What is the difference? Right? Want to see one example? An example for this. Int main in we'll have preprocessor, then int main I will declare a variable called mark. Okay, so print f, enter your marks. Cell scanf %t ampersand marks. Okay, so now if mark is greater than or equal to 90, printf grade is A. Okay, else if check for the condition mark is greater than or equal to 80, printf grade B. Right? Else if mark greater than or equal to 70, print grade C. else if marks greater than or equal to 60, printf grade D, else printf fail. Then return true. So now you see, so if condition 1, so this is your condition 1, this is your condition 2, so this is your condition 3, and this is your condition 4, right? Okay, so if condition 1 is true, it executes this, right? Here, if condition 1 is false and condition 2 is true, then execute block 2. So this is block 1, so this is block 2. Here, if condition 1, condition 2 both are false, only condition 3 is true, execute block 3. Here, if condition 1, condition 2, condition 3 are all false, okay, false, only condition 4 is true, then it will execute this grade D. Else, if all condition that is C1, C2, C3, C4 all are false, then it will execute this block. So this is block 4, this is block 5. Got it? So this is ladder. Yeah. Next we will go for switch control. Switch control. So what is switch? So each case block, so switch case, you see switch statement now. Okay, so it allows to make decision from number of choices. Okay, so we can even call this as switch case default statement. It is very faster than, okay, so it is very faster than the nested if, and also it is very easier to understand. So here are some rules for writing this switch statement. Okay, so rules for writing the switch statement. So expression in switch must be an integer value or a character. So the first rule is expression in switch must be an integer value or a character constant. Okay, and the second rule is no real number should be used in the expression. No real number used in expression. Okay, and each case block and default block must end with break statement. Next is, so default is optional. If you can give default statement or it's okay. So default is optional and case keyword must end with a colon. Must end with colon. And your default is optional, or default may be placed anywhere in the switch. And the last one is, no two case constant should be identical. No two case constant are identical. Okay, so these are some of the rules. So expression in switch must be an integer value or a constant, character constant, and no real number should be used, and each case block and default block should end with a break statement. So default is an option, otherwise if you use default it can be placed anywhere inside the switch, and your case keyword should be end with colon, and we should not have any two case constants as identical one. Okay, so syntax we'll see. Syntax, switch, so the variable or expression, case constant 1, and you will have the statements, then it should have break, right? This case constant should have colon and with break. Likewise again I can go for case constant 2 and with colon we'll have the statements and break. Likewise it can go, and finally case constant n colon, then the statements, break, right, then default statement, then end. Got it? And this, what they said, no two case constant should be identical, no? So if you see here, so here the case constant is 1, here the case constant is 2, here it is n, so this should not be identical. Okay, and you can even see here the case keyword must end with the colon, so it is ending with colon. Right? Okay. We'll see an example. Sorry, what happened to this? Okay. We'll end with this.